There's nothing worse than when the scale's jumping around. You feel like you've been really good, you're locked in, you're expecting to see some spectacular results that are gonna keep you motivated, and then you see a number that doesn't make sense. It's aggravating, it's frustrating, and it's demotivating. So what's going on? Is it reliable? Is it not? And most importantly, what can you do about it? This is a mini episode, so we're not gonna go for any longer than 5 minutes. I'm going to answer this question for you, give you a great strategy, and then we can get on our merry way. So, what's going on? We're gonna assume something. This is a good thing to cover. You wanna be weighing yourself at the same time, whether that's before you go to bed, ideally first thing in the morning, because that's when you can reduce as many variables as possible. Me personally, I like to roll out of bed, get my weighing done, happy days. If you think about what's going on during the day, you could be eating a bunch of different things. You could be high cal, you could be low cal. The amount of carbs that you eat is going to influence how much weight is going to show up on that scale, but you get the cleanest possible read in the morning, which is why I'm a big proponent of that. It also leads into something really important that anyone losing weight should grasp fully, and it's the fact that carbs hold water. Totally fine, carbs are good, eat them. It's not the 90s anymore, we're not panicked about that, but they do hold water. If you're gonna eat a lot of carbs, your body's gonna hold more water. When you jump on scales, if you had a big carb day, that number is gonna go up. And if you don't know what's going on, it's gonna cause you a panic. But just for the sake of illustration, if I had to, I could probably manipulate my weight as high as 3 kg more than normal within a 24-hour period. Your weight can jump around. So I wanna show you something quickly here. It's a couple of charts from, well, my big 30 kg journey, and then more recently cutting down to relatively low body fat. Now zoomed out, it looks incredible. You can just see a straight line down, and that's great. But now we're going to switch to the image of the last 12 weeks for me. You're seeing a lot of jumping up and down. In fact, I think it was just yesterday, I jumped 2.1 kg in a day, almost like 5 pounds. Why? Because I ate 3,000 calories, and a lot of that was carbohydrates. My body retained a lot more water, my weight spiked up, and if I didn't know any better, I would be panicked to hell and assume that I've done something terrible, but I haven't, and you haven't. All it is the body being the body, doing body things. This is probably gonna sound familiar to you. Imagine you're really good, you weigh in on Monday, you're at a certain weight. You get to Friday, eat a lovely, giant, big bowl of pasta. Lots of carbs, right? So your body's gonna retain a lot of water. Maybe you are going to weigh in on Sunday, and you're gonna see no change on the scales, even though you're in a calorie deficit all week. And that's going to be very frustrating for you, because you're going to look at those scales and think, I haven't made any difference at all, and I have been killing myself all week. But the reality of the situation is, if you rolled back and you weighed yourself on Thursday, you'd probably see a difference between the Monday and the Thursday before you had the big bowl of pasta. And I'm not saying pasta is bad, let me be really clear on that. Pasta is awesome, we love pasta, but it's going to make you hold on to more water. So what's something that you can do that's going to mitigate this weird psychological game that's going on when you're losing weight? Daily weigh-ins. That story that I just told you about the pasta, this is exactly why. If you weighed yourself every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, blah, 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 and let's just be clear, you're rolling out of bed, you're standing on the scales, you're going into an app going number, done. That's it. That's literally all of the effort. If you just do that every day, then you're going to be able to see a line down. And then on a day where maybe you have a late night bowl of pasta and it holds a bit more water in your body, you weigh in and the number goes up, but now you know, so you can see a downward trend. You're going to be so much less panicked because you can actually see the data, you can see it working, and you know that carbs are just going to do that. And it's not just carbs, right? You could go and have a big boozy weekend that's going to cause a lot of water retention, a lot of inflammation in the body, and you're going to see a bit of an uptick on the scales. And that doesn't mean that you've gained a bunch of weight either. If you had a totally mad one, maybe, but generally speaking, that's just going to do a few body things. By Wednesday, if you had a big night on Saturday night, you'd expect to see all of that kind of whooshed out, and you'd return to either the weight that you were at before you went out, or you're actually going to see a leg down. If you want to get a good gauge of progress, you look at your weekly average. So you're weighing every day, you take that number, sum it up, divide it by 7, and then you can look week on week. Now that is going to tell you really what's going on. And even then, I just want to be really explicit. Sometimes you get stuck for 2 weeks and then you have a giant whoosh, and all of that weight you're expecting to see drop off that doesn't in 2 weeks, it comes off in the third. It's crazy. If you can just be consistent and you weigh yourself every day, you'll see that line. You'll create that line down. If you're weighing yourself every day and you're in doubt, zoom out. Look at this chart. This is the 30 kg chart. And this is the 12-week chart. And you can see the 30 kg looks like a clean ride down, but I can guarantee you, because I was there, it jumps around a bit. And as long as you know that, then you are empowered to make sure that you don't freak out when the scales give you something wrong. And just as a little bonus one, take weekly pictures too. Week on week, you won't see much, you know, when you're kind of at the start of this whole thing, but month on month, you know, 6 months apart, different people. Very motivating. Take pictures, use other tools. I'll cover that in a different video, but for now, don't stress about the scale weight. Do your thing, log it every day. You will see it go down as long as you're in a calorie deficit most days. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you want more. I'm dedicated to getting you lean. It's awesome. I'll see you in the next one.